What's up, YouTube? Fishhawk here. Today we're going to go over my top 5 trout baits and lures of all time. So these are my top 5 favorite baits, most successful baits and lures that I've ever used. I've been fishing since basically I could walk. My dad took me all the time. I especially love fishing for trout in the creeks, whether it's wading or just walking up and down the bank. It's action-packed, it's active, and you're one with nature. It's just a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite types of fishing. So we're going to go over each of these baits. I'm going to give you a few tips and techniques for each one, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so the first bait I'm going to talk about today is the Berkley Power Bait Corn. This is by far my favorite power bait. I have used tons and tons of different colors and flavors. This one by far has outperformed all of the others. Here's the rig that I use for this power bait. These are Eagle Claw size 8 hook. I really like the size 8 hook. You can put enough power bait on there to completely cover the hook. And then as far as the leader, I like a leader anywhere from probably 18 to 30 inches long, depending on the bottom of the creek or river or lake that you're fishing in. You want a shorter leader probably if it's a soft bottom, mud bottom, or rock. If it has a lot of vegetation, I will actually use sometimes up to a 3-foot long leader. And then I just got a swivel tied on here. I'd probably use a smaller swivel, and also just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using braid so that you can see it, but I would most definitely be using fluorocarbon. Definitely wouldn't use braid, they'll see that. And then I just have about a 1/2 ounce bullet sinker, bullet weight. This is definitely a lake bait. I wouldn't use this much in the creeks and streams, but you can. Just pick a weight that suits you. All right, so the next bait that I'm going to be talking about is the Berkley Power Bait Power Eggs. These right here are the yellow ones. Honestly, I have used a ton of different colors of these as well. I like pink, I like white, and I like sunrise, which is like an orange. I like all the colors. They've all caught fish for me. I use the same rig. These power eggs do stay on the hook way better than the normal doe power bait. I don't know that the fish like the feel of these power eggs as much as the doe power bait. I've actually caught more fish on the doe power bait than these power eggs. But if you're fishing in the streams and creeks, these power eggs are hard to beat because they won't come off. They stay on, they float very well, and they're easy to put on the hook. You can catch a ton of fish on just 1 or 2 of these. I have caught my limit, which is 6 here in West Virginia. I have caught my limit on 2 of these and not had to switch them out. And also what you can do is reuse these. If you go fishing for a little while, you don't catch nothing, take them off your hook, put them back in here, and let them soak up some of that juice and some of that scent for next time. The third bait that I have is the trout magnet. The secret's out. These things are killer on trout. I've caught a ton of trout on these things. You can get these in just about any color that you want. These are the yellow ones with the silver little jig heads. These are just a few of the colors. So you can switch it up, see what the fish are biting, see what they like. One way that you can fish these trout magnets is with a small bobber. These work well for small streams and creeks where you don't have to cast far. If you have to cast far, this is a very great alternative. These are some of my favorite bobbers. I'm not sure what the brand is, but they're weighted bobbers. So if you're fishing a bigger river or a bigger stream or a lake or a pond, you can definitely get your cast out to where the fish are. These things are a great thing to have when fishing with these trout magnets if you cannot reach it with the small little unweighted bobber. Moving on to the fourth lure, I got the white rooster tail, 1/8 of an ounce. This is the perfect size for me. Depending on where I'm fishing, I'm usually fishing small creeks and streams. This is plenty of weight to keep it down in the current. If the current is super strong, you might want to put a small split shot or a inline bullet sinker up the line a little ways to help get this bait down. Always take into account the type of water that you're fishing and also the size of the fish that you're fishing for. Last but not least, you got the MEPS Comet minnow. This is my favorite trout lure of all time. The trout cannot resist this lure. This thing's very reliable. It spins every time I cast it. I don't have any problems. Some spinners, the blade gets hung up, doesn't want to spin. They make these in different colors and sizes as well, just like any other spinner. This is about the size that I like for the fish that I'm fishing for. I know they make a brown colored Comet minnow. One of the reasons that I love this lure so much is that it's a lot different than some of the other spinners. I think that's what sets this apart. I'm going to wrap this video up by going through each one of these and just kind of going over the situation and the location of which I would use each of these baits and lures. Starting with power bait, when I'm at the lake fishing for trout, this would be my go-to. At the lake is where this bait really shines. The second is the Berkley power eggs. I can use these in the lakes and streams. I typically use these in the streams a little bit more. They're good for the creeks, they stay on, they float well, they keep it off the bottom in that strong current, and just sometimes the fish want something like this. They don't want to chase anything, so these are a great pick for in the streams, rivers, and creeks when none of your artificial is working. Next, the trout magnet. I almost exclusively use these in the creeks, streams, and rivers. Another great tip for these, if you have any waxworms, mealworms, night crawlers, just cut you up a tiny piece, tip the hook with that, and it gives it that extra scent. So if they're there sniffing at it, it'll entice them to definitely grab that hook. The rooster tail. Pretty much the only place that I fish this is the creeks, streams, and rivers. I don't fish these in the lakes. When I'm out in the streams and the creeks and the rivers, I'm walking, I'm wading, I'm covering water. This is a great bait to cover a lot of water. Last but not least, the MEPS comet minnow. This is another exclusive stream, creek, and river bait. I don't throw this in the lakes any. This is a great alternative to the rooster tail. It's got a different look, different profile. It's just something different, and you never know what's going to make that fish bite. So if you're using the rooster tail and you're not having any luck, switch it up to the comet minnow. If you're using the comet minnow and you're not having great luck, switch it up to the rooster tail. Switching it up may mean the difference between catching a fish and not catching a fish. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all learned something. I hope you gained some knowledge. I hope you gained a tip, a technique, something to help you catch more fish. If you love trout fishing as much as I do, go pick up some of these baits. Give them a try. Try out some of the techniques, some of the rigs that I showed you. Let me know how you did. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be sure to answer. As always, thank you so much for watching.